What is up, everyone? I'm Schroeder.
I'm Davis.
I'm Odom.
I'm Brian.
And this is How Did You Miss That? Our podcast where we explore movies that we may have missed throughout our lives. And we have a very special episode today.
As you can see. Okay. A little wordplay already.
Whoa.
Right out the gate.
The people that are watching or
The
that are
video.
listening on the podcast are going to be very confused.
They
but
still can't see
but
us.
for the people on YouTube watching this,
I still
hopefully in
thought it was
VR.
Yeah,
this is-
hopefully you have a headset.
Hopefully you
to
have a
watch
VR
this
headset
on.
because this is a VR episode of our podcast. And,
Otherwise,
yeah.
this just looks really weird to anybody who's looking.
just on their phone.
on their
Otherwise,
screen, on
if
their
you're on your
phone.
phone,
Hold
this
on.
looks like a wide shot.
You
Yeah.
can
Yes.
you can look it on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Uh,
can look at it on your phone on YouTube. You can even watch it on your computer on YouTube and
Yes.
scroll around.
But this
But-
is part of VR week. It's made these. We're doing a bunch of different types of pieces of content that are made for in headset. So this is sort of our long form piece, I guess. It's the sort of thing where you put your headset on, you turn on this video, and you can just kind of
Chill
watch
with
us. Yeah, chill with us for like an hour or so. So
It's like you're here talking about the movie with us, except for we can't hear you.
yeah.
yes,
We
Or,
don't-
or
we don't-
see you.
maybe
Can't see you or hear
maybe
you.
there's a future where we will be able
Live
to talk
stream
to them.
VR?
Where we'll be able to talk to the people.
Yeah.
You
Not
know,
if-
maybe
not after the bandwidth wars. We'll never be able to do that.
But
Thanks for killing my segue.
Sorry.
Maybe there'll be a future where one day they can converse with us in real time. Sort of like in the Oasis, in the movie
that we're covering
that we're
this week.
covering that two people have missed called Ready Player One. Now, show of hands, since this is now a visual show.
Oh, yeah.
Who has missed Ready Player One?
And then for the audio
Oh, yeah.
people, Brian.
Yeah.
Me too.
Brian Odom raised
and
his
for-
hand.
I did.
Yeah, and for
I did.
there we go.
Odom did too.
Odom. That's me.
Odom and Brian. So, guys, how did you miss the Steven Spielberg classic, Ready Player One?
It's funny because I think we have the exact same reason,
we,
right?
we do.
Did you look
yeah,
at
we
the
do.
calendar?
I checked the calendar. I checked the date on this.
So the day that Ready Player One came out, Odom and I left for Spain for 2 weeks. So
Wow.
Wow.
yeah.
Look at these globalists.
And
I think that's what globalist means.
Whatever. Yeah.
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 And
Yeah,
then-
okay.
We
and then
missed
when
it. I
Well-
guess.
Well, you've had ample chance.
I guess
to
we didn't
yes.
go
watch
see it in Spain.
No.
Could have. It was worldwide.
We-
Made like $600 million worldwide. So I know people saw it.
That's
How
true.
come you guys continue to not see it? Is it because Schroeder and I don't like it?
Yes. Yes. That was the short
Just
answer.
be honest. It's not like they're watching. It's not like Spielberg's watching.
Yes, we got back from Spain, and you guys said it really wasn't very good, so then just didn't prioritize it.
I didn't remember that they thought it wasn't very good, and I don't think we've really discussed it since it came out.
Oh. So why do you think you missed it? That's why I think I missed it.
I don't feel like I ever really had a lot of interest in,
You mean
in seeing
the-
it. Maybe
The multitude of references didn't draw you in?
Yeah.
Multitude doesn't even encompass it.
A plethora? A plethora
An
of references?
infinitude.
gratitude.
I like the crisis reference.
Thank you. It's just like a thousand little references all stacked on each other's shoulder, wearing a very large trench coat that's shaped like a movie. Is what this is. If I had to visualize it.
Well, it is based on a 2011 novel by Ernest Cline, and that was a popular novel for
Several loot crates had.
several loot crates.
I own several. I donated several
I
copies.
got one from you
There
from
you
a
go.
loot crate, and I still haven't read.
But he also wrote the screenplay. So,
yeah, I know. I saw that. Yeah.
So he's very involved.
Co-wrote it.
Yeah.
Was it vastly different than the book?
I didn't. Did anyone read the book?
No.
Well, I'm assuming you read Wikipedia. So
Oh.
what
Here's
did
the
Wikipedia
thing.
say?
There are some differences because it's longer, but not
Yeah.
much. I think
it's the basic structures there.
yeah.
I actually read that a lot of people think that the movie improved the story,
I haven't read the book.
but
A
that was on
lot of
Wikipedia.
people really liked it, but then a lot of people really didn't.
It was really, really hyped up by a lot of people who were like, it's an incredible book. And then only after the movie came out did a bunch of people be like, oh, no, it's not a good book at all.
It's not. Yeah.
And I was like, well, all I ever heard was that it was this amazing story that's really going to hit home for video game and VR fans.
I'm sure they weren't counting on people like you reading it. so they never thought you were
Why
gonna
wouldn't they?
critique
Then what's
it.
the audience for?
I don't know about that.
I
I
mean,
mean,
that's-
it's like clear '80s nostalgia. Like, I definitely think we would be an audience for that.
Do you read? Do you read books?
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I
he
thought.
means book readers. We're no good with the thinking.
Yeah,
No.
we don't like to read the
Okay,
words on,
all right,
on
That's
all
why
paper.
I audiobook it.
There you go. Audiobook.
I mean, I was interested to see the movie though, but yeah, spent 2 weeks away. You guys weren't hype on it when we came back. The hype for the movie in general had died down.
Yeah, there was like
So
no
then
hype when we got back.
Just
Yeah, you're not wrong.
didn't prioritize it.
That's fair.
Well, what? This is gonna be fun.
I think this is
So,
gonna be fun.
based on what you know and the poster, and
Oh
I'm
my
really
God.
curious because the poster is also just a mishmash of references. What do you
Uh-huh.
think?
I didn't look at the poster. I just went off of memory. Did
Okay.
you look at the poster?
Yeah,
Odom?
you always look
You
at the
always
poster.
look at the
That gives
poster.
you great material.
That's what the poster looks like. Okay. Anyway,
All right,
Okay,
who's
I-
gonna,
okay,
who's gonna go
you-
first?
Odom,
I'm gonna go
you
first.
go first. What do you think? What did you
Okay.
think this movie's about?
God,
Well-
it's just chicken scratch.
You can't read this?
I can make out ready.
Neither can I.
Show-
I just
show-
make it up after
Show
I
the
write it.
audience.
No, it's got some of our tax
Yeah, it's
info
got
in it.
some
It literally-
important information.
Literally, our company's tax info is on
Don't-
the
Oh dear
left
God!
side.
Don't lift that up.
No, it's a tax form checklist. It has no
This guy- he's the
real
bookkeeper.
information.
He's
That's
like,
And I
not
keep
true.
it. I keep it in this book right
That's
here.
you're like,
not true.
you're like a mob bookkeeper where you literally have a book that like all the FBI wants that book.
Yeah, if anybody got their hands on this book, it would,
Social security numbers are definitely in there.
Just yeah. All right, there you go. Jesus.
Maybe not on that page.
There might be some crossfades
Not on this-
throughout the visual part of this.
all right. Damn, I had this positioned perfectly underneath the microphone stand to keep it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready? You ready
Yeah,
for
yeah,
this?
yeah.
I'm
We're
ready.
ready. I keep
Yes.
forgetting we can look at the camera now.
We should look at the camera. This is our audience right here.
Okay.
Hello.
So,
Tell him or her.
sure. Well, I knew two things about this movie going into it: virtual reality and nostalgia. I know this movie takes place in a future where everyone spends most of their time in virtual reality and the real world is kind of shitty, probably due to all the reasons the actual future is going to be kind of shitty. Climate
Commentary.
change, overpopulation, etc. There's probably some big corporation who has control over most aspects of people's lives, and they have created a virtual world that helps maintain complacency among the population, which helps the corporation maintain control. I think this world is full of pop culture references to exploit people's nostalgia, which also
Do you
helps...
mean the movie or the world?
Damn it, I lost my...
You meant the world.
to exploit people's nostalgia, which also helps them maintain control and sell movie tickets.
Heyo.
There's a kid who
Oh, wow.
has
We're just-
probably spent most of his life in VR and has a deeper
Art
understanding of
imitating
how
life.
everyone's lives are being controlled and manipulated, so he takes it upon himself to try and overthrow the corporate overlords, and I'm sure in the end he does.
Cool.
Nice.
That was all world building and then like a sentence of plot.
Which is the movie. I think I was pretty spot on.
All right, your turn.
Bruh.
Brad,
Okay,
what do you got?
So I know that the movie is set in a dystopian future where everyone spends in what I think is called the Oasis, which is basically virtual reality. I know in the VR world, people create different avatars and essentially become different people in that world. I also know there's a bunch of pop culture references like Back to the Future, Overwatch, and Steven Spielberg movies. I'm assuming Jurassic Park and E.T. I heard they had some copyright issues with the references, but I'm not
Wonder why.
sure what was
I
cut
wonder why.
from the book to the movie. My guess would be Disney stuff. As
Good
far
guess.
as far
Good
as
guess.
this,
It's a pretty good guess.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is there no Disney stuff in that?
No.
I don't think so.
Jesus.
But I didn't know that when I wrote this. As far as the story goes, I have absolutely no idea. My guess is the main character is like high school or college aged and isn't very cool as far as school goes, but in VR, he's a badass. He feels free and confident in the virtual world. I think I heard that this might have like a Willy Wonka setup where there's like a golden ticket or Easter egg of some sort in the VR world and that everyone is competing to get it, which I'm assuming everyone from school in the real world thinks is really cool. Maybe this ticket is like an opportunity to fight for some kind of greater reward. anyways, as he gets deeper into the inner workings of the Oasis, my guess is he's initially, what? Oh, I didn't really explain this part. I think. Oh, maybe there's like a Matrix thing where the evil side is trying to make it so people get trapped in the VR world forever. This could be tempting to our main character, but he feels at home in the VR world, or because he feels at home in the VR world. But in the end, he realizes the Oasis is still just a fantasy. It's not really real. So even if it means he has to go back to his mediocre life and save all the people who made fun of him, he chooses the noble path and fights to preserve real reality.
Okay.
All right. Those are two very different directions.
But some parts line up with what happened and some don't. But the point is, did you think you'd like it?
Yeah, what did you think?
I thought I would like it. I know you guys didn't like it, but what did I write down here? I mean, I basically...
I will say we went at it with as fresh eyes as we could this time around, so maybe opinions have changed.
I mean, I really like sci-fi action movies, and I'll sometimes overlook a lot of like formulaic plot in movies as long as like motivations line up and the action and sci-fi stuff is really cool and the world building is cool. I'm really curious to see how much like cringe is in this movie because it seems like that's a thing. And if it toes the line of like Alita Battle Angel,
man, that's a camper tactic.
Hey,
I was like,
don't you're you're letting your opinion out too soon.
Sorry,
We're going over dialogue. It's too early.
If it leans, I even wrote, if it leans Alita Battle Angel and has bad dialogue and inconsistent character motivations, like that'll definitely hurt my opinion. I'm really curious to Oh, I already said the cringe part.
Got it.
And then I like Steven Spielberg. Like I haven't seen it in a while, but I liked Bicentennial Man when it came out. Even so, I don't think I'm gonna hate it. I think I'm gonna like it, but not love it.
okay.
Odom?
Do you think that might not be a Spielberg movie?
Pretty sure it's not. But Odom, what do you?
I had like no opinion going into this. to me, it was like the most just middle of the road. I don't care if I see it. I don't care if I don't see it.
You're like the ideal juror.
Sorry. Just
Wait, we need to jump in here. I
it
was
was directed
totally
by
wrong.
Chris Columbus. Not even close.
What? Did he produce it?
The
Or
Harry
where did
Potter
I
guy.
pull that from?
I think you're thinking of AI. AI was a Spielberg.
It came out at like the same time.
Anyways,
You had plenty of time to look this stuff up.
Dude, I wrote Stream of Consciousness, man.
you were saying.
Odom.
I think that's pretty much it. I don't know. I never had
You're
a desire to
blank
watch
slate?
it. Yeah, it was a completely blank slate. Never really had a desire to watch it. Thought it. I don't know. It looked like it did have elements that I would enjoy, but I just kind of assumed that since nobody has really talked about it since it came out, it was a movie that most people weren't interested in.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, is it that time for?
It's that time for you guys to get the hell out of here. Go into the black void that is behind the 3D the viewers.
And do not.
Odom has to walk behind the
touch
camera. Just
the
please
camera.
Don't touch
just-
anything.
No, they're just going into a black void. Don't
Right.
look behind you, viewers.
But while Odom is crossing into the black void, please be very careful. I'm so nervous.
a lot of cool stuff back here.
Did you find a little dot that will help you unlock the?
Secrets of the Universe. That's the Jeremy Bearimy.
No, it was the.
It was the dot in the
reference.
Jeremy Bearimy.
I was also talking about the dot in the final challenge of
Oh.
adventure. Okay,
All right.
they're gone.
Here's the thing. I actually don't. It's a hard prediction because
I think that they're not going to be as turned out. There's so many references that it comes off really unnatural to me.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they'll have that same problem. So they may just enjoy it as a very simple.
But it's a kids movie. I'm still not. I'm on the like dislike. I think, but I'm like, I see its potential and I see why a lot of people latch onto it.
Yeah.
I don't think it came together when I rewatched this time. So the first time we watched
Yeah,
it,
we definitely did not like it.
No.
The first time we watched it, mostly because all I knew about it was that it's about like a dystopian sort of VR future, and we're big VR
very big
fans.
VR fans. Yes.
And several people were like, it's amazing. So I was expecting an adult. I was expecting like bigger ideas, and I was like, that was a kids movie. No one told me I was going to see a like child's
And
movie.
I think it was like,
and it was so many references that just felt so. It's like how, J.J. Abrams just does like. All the dialogue in his movies are like, let's say the plot. Let's say what we're doing.
really fast.
We're going to
Really,
do
really
this.
fast.
This movie is that, but instead of just saying the plot, it's just saying references. They're like, oh my gosh, she has the bike from Akira. Or like, whoa, wow, Buckaroo Bonds. You're just like,
Oh, man,
shut up.
look at me, I'm making a deep cut.
Say
Are you
something
looking
that's
at me?
not a reference. Just fucking say something else. Sorry. It drives me crazy. And it even drove me crazy on this, too. Luckily, they kind of chilled the hell out in the end because it's all visual, whatever. But they stopped
Visual
just
references.
They stopped just
Saying shit,
vomiting
yeah.
references. That I'm like, yeah. So I came the second I'm watching it, I'm like, I don't like it, but I know it's not a bad. I can see why people like it.
It's not a bad movie.
Right.
It's a kids movie. It's a middle. I think
it's a kids
it's
movie?
a very expensive middle of the road kids movie, and that was my like. Well, I was a little softer on it because I think like halfway through was when I realized it. I think when like the whole team got together and they were like group of kids driving in a van, and I'm like, oh, we're doing kid Spielberg. We're not doing like adult Spielberg.
Okay, so you're saying the first time you watched it, you realized it and then switched your mindset.
Yes.
For me, I was angry because I was frustrated that everybody pretended this book was like amazing when it's like, no, just say it's a kid's book. I just feel like I was fed the wrong thing, and so I was more angry at that than the movie. The movie's fine, although I have some problems with. We'll go through some of the stuff.
I mean, we will, yeah.
But we should talk about how they're going to think. Yeah, I guess they're just.
I do think Brian. I think their predictions are going to be right. I feel like how you go into the movie is how you're going to come out of the movie because there's nothing that elevates, but there's nothing that really angers. I mean, there are things that can anger, but it's
No, and there's some cool visuals. I think that a lot of it is too busy. Watching on the small screen was
that helped.
great.
We'll
We'll
talk
talk about that when they get back in here. But the
yeah.
I don't like it. It actually hits. It's a well-structured movie. Like it follows the stave the cat. It has everyone says what they want, and
It has
all
like,
the stuff.
yeah.
I'm like structurally, it's a sound movie.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm just still like bitter about it, but it's a better movie than I feel about it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I don't think they're gonna love it.
I think it'll be a like. And what did Odom say? Did he say like?
He just said he was.
He was just unsure. Odom's the wild card.
He might. I think he'll might enjoy it more than Brian. I think he'll like it, and then I think Brian might be like, I like it. I think they're both likes.
You think they're both likes? I think they're probably going to be both likes too.
I don't think that there's any way there's gonna be a love.
No, this is not a movie that I don't think anyone
That
anyone loves. But when we come back, they will let us know, and we'll go through the movie.
We'll see you then, and you'll see us then, or hear us if you're listening to us. Then.
Either way, fade out. And we are back, and yeah, we're back.
Oh, Odom and I are magically back.
Yeah. Well, we faded. I think they can make the assumption that you came back. But yeah, now you guys seen Ready Player One. What did you think of Ready Player One, Brian?
I loved it.
Whoa!
Loved it.
Wow!
Really liked it. I think loved it.
Shock face.
Yeah,
What?
people can see that.
Yeah.
Odom.
I thought it was kind of a poop movie.
Okay.
I didn't like it. I did not.
Wow.
Did not like it.
All right, guys. We have two
We're not
very-
usually this far off.
very different
Yeah.
opinions.
Odom or not? I looked at you and said Odom. Brian, why'd you love? What'd you love about it?
Yeah.
Hit us with
I
some
don't know if it's
positivity.
because I went in with like low expectations and then just everything was like better than that. But the things that, and this kind of goes into my prediction, the things that were an issue with the movie are overcrowded by all that I thought was awesome about it. Like I thought the visuals were amazing. I thought the pacing was amazing. I thought the directing was really good. I thought some of the character motivations or like just characters in general were a little thin, but at least their motivations were like they did their thing. They had their thing and they stuck to it.
like Daito and Show.
Yeah, tell me what Daito did.
So the relationships were not super strong, and the characters come in out of nowhere.
Remember when
and
he was
have these...
there? Anyway,
Yes. No, there are a couple characters that are just there. That's a
I'll
definitely
give you
fair criticism.
Like H and Z's like relationship. That's fine. That's pretty flushed out. Like I get that. Artemis and him, I guess, get that. But yeah, mostly every other person
character
is he's a
point was
badass
he's 11.
11-year-old.
He's
Yeah.
11.
And
Yep,
and
that's character limit.
ninjas don't hug.
So
Yes.
I don't know if that stuff is delved into deeper in the book. I'm assuming it is, but like this movie, I almost feel like could be serviced better by like a short series, to dive into that stuff more. Like
Maybe.
there's a lot of plot. This movie is so much plot.
There's
Okay.
I don't think there's that much. If you really break it down, it's like there's like multiple steps to it, but it's essentially just like
You're doing a treasure
do
hunt.
the treasure hunt to get the egg to do the whatever.
We're crossing.
I guess
we're
that's what I'm
crossing.
saying is plot.
world building.
We're
to
crossing
me,
Indiana
there's more
Jones
of
with
that
Willy
than-
Wonka. Is
Yeah.
sort of this.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
Because this is a very Wonka-esque movie of getting
Oh.
the reward and
and then it's all yours.
you got Slugworth type character and yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I liked a lot of the scenes. It's pandering in some ways, but I liked most of the
Only in
nostalgia.
some ways.
only
Just in a few ways.
it's overwhelming the amount. It's just
Yeah.
not. But it's like I get it. The problem is that especially for I don't know in nerd culture, and now it's really popular. Like it's mainstream, but like this movie is what's the bad guy's name? Sorento.
Yeah, Sorento.
This movie does what they roast him for doing, which is just Breakfast Club and like you know how they like there's that scene where he roasts him for being inauthentic.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
this fucking movie to me. It's just they just say it's just shit all the time. They're just saying references. They just put in Overwatch characters and they've got GI. They have like every little thing. I'm like, it doesn't mean it. It has no soul. That's what's
Yeah.
crazy to me is like
Yeah.
the thing that you're roasting in this movie. This movie is. It's actually Jurassic World. It's like it has that same exact thing for me.
Odom, care to chime in? You thought it was a poop movie.
Yeah, I thought it was mostly
what was
a poop
the poop?
movie.
What was the poop?
Well, okay, so the most interesting aspects of this movie to me were the world building and the visuals, and that was like the world building was you pretty much got all of that in the first 20 to 30 minutes of the movie. Beyond that, like there wasn't a lot of substance to this movie. It was just a 2.5 hour movie full of references and like what else like that. Mostly it. Yeah, I thought after the first 30 minutes, like it's just very uninteresting and predictable.
I don't know. Did you predict
That's true.
that adventure was the first Easter egg and that's where the Easter egg was located?
Dude, oh my god, those are the worst.
Because I sure fucking did. All right.
Those are the worst when they're just like very academically like adventure 1984. The first game, you're just like shut up. The why we fall in love with these games is because of the emotions, the things that you do. And here they're just naming them like
they're facts.
like
Yeah.
a sterile fucking clean room of you're just like this sucks. And that's kind of I guess the point for that team was that you can't like force it. That's why they didn't get it. Except for
Yeah.
then they try to introduce a bunch of quirky people at the last act.
In the last act,
and
they
give
brought
them
in
little
some
like arcs and
little
then have them
arcs.
kiss at the end. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Wait, they kissed?
You know,
the
remember
team
the
kissed?
the head of the Sorento team and the girl that figured out that it was adventure like kiss when
They're celebrating?
They're all happy.
I
Yeah,
I thought it
didn't
was so
see that.
weird that they were trying to get you to care about the
at
corporate
the end
people
is when they
at the
started
end.
doing it. It's
and
baffling.
it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm like,
the mind reels.
What else, Odom?
yeah. So
Sorry.
actually,
No,
an
this is
an hour and 30 in, I paused the movie. I
Yeah.
thought I was a good 10 to 15 minutes away from the end.
No, the end,
I paused it.
then
There was
goes
still
on.
15 minutes left,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Did you pause it after the Shining thing?
yeah, I think it was pretty.
I watched it in 2 sittings, and after the Shining one, I'm like, I just need to walk away from this movie for
Yeah.
a second. And I was a day, but
In my mind, I knew this movie was like an hour and 20 minutes or whatever, and at that point, I was like, all right, like I've watched over 2 hours, right? No, I was an hour and a half in, and I'm like, how? I don't understand how this movie keeps going. It should be over.
All
They
because
sh- they-
there's 3 clues and there's 3 challenges.
Yeah. Wait, you didn't like the Shining scene?
No. Like, why? It doesn't have any. It's just like everything else. It just picks up the body of it and Weekend at Bernie's it around for a second, and then it adds in elements that don't matter. And then they even say in the movie, they're like, The Shining doesn't even fucking matter. It was all about the dance with the girl. It's like it was a red herring. Just like the girl is literally a red herring that they say in the end, where it's like, actually, it's about him and his friend.
Yeah.
Not about him.
Not about Kira.
You're just like,
It's about friendship, Davis. It's an important theme.
it's fine because he's the guy that, listen, Gwen Stacy doesn't have friends, and Parvizal, whatever his name is, doesn't have clans.
Parsable.
Whatever. It's dumb. The point is, you're right.
It's actually pretty smart because he was one of the people that searched for the Holy Grail.
They talked about that in the beginning. I mean,
I know, but it's really smart because they explained it in the movie.
It's a thing where it needs to explain everything to you, so I hate it. You're like, Wade, what's his name? Wade Wilson?
Yeah,
that's actually
Wade,
why.
whatever.
They do that a lot.
And then he's like, my dad named me that because it sounds like a hero, like Peter Parker.
That's
and you're
kind of like
shut up!
That's kind of like why. That's why I kind of like the Shining sequence is that they didn't explain it until the end, where they're like, "Oh, there's nothing in there, nothing in the Shining, thing didn't matter."
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
They
don't know.
just-
I thought it was cool. That scene. I thought the visuals were really cool. I liked the
I think we're split on the
even
Shining scene.
deep
Well,
into
visually,
horror
that's
stuff.
visually it's awesome. Like that's the only cool part about this whole movie is like the visuals and the world building.
Yeah,
And
like,
sure, the visuals were good, but
Yeah, visually the Shining sequence was cool, but what
Oh,
did you want me to feel from it? Like, what do you think would? Why would that stand out to me?
Why would that stand out
It
to
was
you?
a cool trippy.
It's really
trip
like a
through.
theme park where you're just like, oh, here's the part where he wrote all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Oh, we're already on to the kids and the blood. Okay, and here's the crazy lady in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then we're in the maze that is weird that like she's the thing of, but it's the giveaway that there was no zombies in that thing. It's just like you're like,
remember The Shining? Here are all the references you
here's
remember
the
from The
music
Shining.
to it, which is awesome, and I still can't believe there's not a better like dubstep remix of that song, but it's fine.
I don't know. The member berries worked on me with this movie. I thought that scene was super cool. I like the references. I like that it goes like super horror with it. And
I think
and gets,
I was relieved because they didn't explain the references. They just did them.
Oh,
They didn't explain.
and-
Oh,
when
you're
the twins
saying-
showed up, the Ace didn't go, "Oh wow, there's the twins from The Shining." They were like,
Oh,
Let
okay,
me
okay.
over-explain
from
it.
Shit
that
just
perspective,
happened.
From
Yeah.
that perspective, I suppose it's
Where they're
better.
not just word vomiting,
yes,
like
where
constantly.
like you see the picture and Holiday is replaced, and they don't. While it was like a clue to get to the ballroom, it wasn't like, "Hey, wait a minute,
This is from the last
this is
scene
from
in the
the
movie."
Yeah, it's not like they didn't.
They did say 237. They did a couple of the little things in there, but you're not wrong. But where I actually thought it was most effective was in the end, after when they were like fighting and they were like going to that castle.
Yep.
And they were showing when all the IOI guys died, like the red in the
Yeah.
real world, and
Yeah.
they stopped saying references. They just did shit. Well, they did adventure, but they like did shit that was there. The cool shield thing that was their own invention, like it was. They just stopped referencing and they started doing it. I'm like, wow, I'm not like completely angry at this movie right now.
You mean except for all of the characters
except for the adventure? No. After the beginning of that, because that's like a end game level like fight scene where I'm just complete like I'm like no.
There's this.
Everyone's like, it was so cool. There was the Halo guys. There's everybody. I'm like, you're just throwing up references. It's literally it has no meaning.
It's white noise.
It actually frustrates me because it invalidates some of the other movies. So they show.
I agree with you. That I did not find like seeing Halo and stuff being like it didn't do a lot for me. I don't think I was angry.
There's Master Chief's.
It's like,
I wasn't angry
it's
by
Iron
it.
Giant versus Mechagodzilla, and then the Gundam versus Mechagodzilla. You're like, oh, but it came in on the fucking Serenity. So okay, just it reminds me of the things that we love for real reasons.
Yeah.
Because they like stand the test of time. They like
Yeah.
tell good stories that are timeless. And here it just
And that's what
reminds
made
you of
them
all
good.
of the better things that you're literally not watching.
Boom. All right.
I think that's a fair point.
All right, let's dive into.
Should we dive on in?
Dive
Should we-
on in.
Should we head into the Oasis? Put our
Let's do
goggles
it.
on, and hopefully
But
you're
will say,
wearing
though,
your
I will say,
goggles.
though, I do, especially on rewatch, the basic setup for the world.
Yeah.
It's oversimplified, but I'm like, this is very compelling. I wish
Yeah.
that like an adult made this movie, or
I
guess
an adult
sorry,
did make this
I wish
movie.
they wrote it for adults
I agree
and
with
not
you.
just made references for adults.
I
in a kids'
wish
movie.
that there were.
It was written as a kids movie. It was
But it exploits
references
all of the
for-
references
yes.
for
adults.
Us.
Yes, it is
For
a weird.
millennials.
This is my like.
I think it's parents and kids. They're trying to hit their parents with the references and the kids with the the emotional depth.
Yep.
No, yeah.
What is
I
going
agree
on?
with
Sorry,
you. The world
I gotta-
building that was
I gotta
set
charge my
up,
phone.
I wish that there was more emotional depth there.
But like I was saying, like especially on rewatch, it is a very well structured, like all the arcs.
The kids movie. It's a
pay
well
off.
structured kids movie.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like they all learn something. Like it's fine.
The stakes
like,
are
it
kids
is,
movie stakes.
It is not a.
The
but it's
world
not a
is like
poorly
a
made one. Yeah.
Kids movie world.
Yeah.
Where it's like we have elements of dystopia, but no, not really. Anyway, let's jump into that.
We're not going
'cause-
to show all the really.
Are you saying that we should jump into the
Yes.
plot?
Bum, 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 bum. All right, here we go. Too much. Already too much.
It goes way longer than that in the movie.
yes, it does.
But do we have the
but
copyright to
but-
that song?
Here we go. All right, we open on Columbus, Ohio in 2045, but we're still playing music from the 80s for some reason. Meet Wade Watts climbing through the stacks, the slums that everyone lives in, and we see everyone is enjoying themselves and living out their fantasies in VR, but for some reason this is a bad thing. Our narration opens with commentary. They live in an age where, quote, people stop trying to fix problems and just tried to outlive them. Yeah.
It's not
I
bad.
like that
It's
line.
not-
That's
yeah,
it's not a
yeah.
bad line.
It's not wrong.
Yeah.
I like. It's
I-
really, especially. It just feels
That's-
very poignant now.
Yeah.
Although that's probably like the most commentary in the movie.
I mean,
of,
they do,
like, the
they do some
world.
other commentary stuff, but
But
That,
sure.
that was I don't know that one. Really
I actually
stuck
thought it
out
was
to
really
me.
funny that you were pointing out that they were going to do like, global warming or some kind of like environmental
yeah.
thing, and they're like,
Yeah.
no overpopulation. It's just like, nope,
yeah, that was the weird thing. Is like
the bandwidth wars.
you're like they just made up. They just like made up stuff where you're like, oh damn, okay, yeah. It's not really
So the
real
bandwidth
commentary.
wars is
Yeah.
what explains.
No,
their
they name
environment?
drop a couple different sequences. The bandwidth
Okay.
wars was the one that made me laugh the hardest.
What,
Yeah.
were, what were
At
the
how dumb it
others?
was.
I don't remember. I don't have it
It
written
was
down.
just. It was
not-
like there was like some sort of. They mentioned a bunch of weird fictional things that happened that all.
So maybe this is why the bandwidth. I don't know. Bandwidth wars happened. I don't know. Internet's very important, obviously. So in
Yeah.
the future, internet's even more important. So this is why Columbus, Ohio, is the fastest growing city in America because it's where the Oasis is, and I guess
started.
yes, it's where it started. It's where the headquarters are. I guess
Tech boom.
being closer now means that you have faster internet. That's technically true, but
Huh.
it's like
Lower latency.
it's like technically true, but it seems weird.
Issues.
So that's why this is like a boomtown basically, and that's why these stacks have been built is because everyone's trying to live here to have the best internet.
It's like why every financial institution on Wall Street tries to get as close as they possibly can to the servers for the stock market.
Yeah, it's just a
Dude, I love the knowledge you just drop sometimes in these Odom. Did not
It's-
know that.
Because fractions of a second actually matter.
does.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch
Yeah.
of like shit that happened where people were doing no stuff, right? Because of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. My only thought, like, I generally like the opening. I just thought that the song "Jump" definitely doesn't match the energy of the scene for me.
yeah, but 80s. But we're
So-
doing
but
80s.
they're because I think what they're trying to do is show you that Wade in the real world is like non-energetic. He like
Yeah, he's
like
a bummer of a dude.
But it's not until he gets into the Oasis that he comes alive. But you have like jump.
Well, but everyone else. But he was.
Go ahead and pout. Walk slowly.
But he was
Yeah,
walking
shamble.
slowly. But he was
Mope
walking
around.
slowly and bummed. But you see everyone else
No, I
having
know.
a great
but
old
it's,
time.
But
so
it was like that's why I'm like it was baffling to. I'm like I get it. It shows
It-
the laziness.
well, I just think it's a bit of part of the tonal inconsistency. It's like everyone here is having a good time, but he's sad. That's
They
why I'm
got
like,
the
oh,
pizza
this is a
drones.
yeah, like this is
Pizza
a bad
drones.
thing. This is everyone's living out their fantasies. But they can go to different planets, and yes, they have to live in this place because they've like overpopulated this one city for faster internet. But
Do they even say
This
that?
isn't that dystopian. Yes, they said that everyone moved here because it's where the Oasis is headquartered. So
Okay.
I am taking it one step in that, yes, closer internet, bandwidth, whatever. Yeah.
It's a striking visual.
Yes,
They're just
Yeah.
like
but not,
mobile homes stacked on top of each
Yeah.
other.
it's a good visual. Yeah. But it's not really dystopian. It's like, it's fine.
It looks dystopian.
It looks dystopian.
Yeah. But, all right, Wade finally goes to his secret van, and we see the tech. You got gloves. You got a treadmill that predicts your feet movement.
Omnidirectional.
Yep.
Omnidirectional.
Yep. And he heads into the Oasis. And now the Oasis is bright and colorful, full of references.
I'm just gonna say the trunk that he's in. One thing I noticed is so small. It's like almost his height. I'm like, how does he have any?
How does he
vertical?
jump?
How does he?
I,
Yeah.
I didn't understand how they do the flying stuff.
They
Later on, they show
I didn't
cords.
understand how
So-
everybody who's just
Later,
walking
though.
around in
The
VR.
cords don't come in till the van.
it
How-
doesn't.
How are they
It doesn't-
moving around?
So I mean, how it you and now you just press a control stick.
Like,
But
Right.
it doesn't one-to-one track like some of them times they do motions and then it happens. Or like for Sorento, he just sits in a pod. So you're like,
Right.
yeah.
does he jack
Yeah,
in?
you're right.
Is he jacking in Matrix style and controlling everything? I don't know. Who knows?
You just kind of have to like let it go. But it's just weird that they show you so many different ways that people like play the game, and they also use it to show their socioeconomic standing with their like cheap gloves
type
and
of-
whatever
yeah.
versus
Yeah.
the like
The bodysuit.
suits.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want one of those bodysuits.
Yeah.
I want one of those bodysuits. Absolutely.
You can get kicked in the crotch and you'll
Yeah,
feel it.
This
yeah,
is happening.
You get microfiber in the crotch and feel everything.
It's great. It's great. I mean, this is closer to. It's actually pretty close to VR chat right now. You know, just less mobility, and the graphics are a lot better in 20 years.
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Yes.
All right, so we're world building. What's next?
We got every world is a literal planet. We got a vacation planet where you can climb Mount Everest with Batman. We got the casino planet that totally isn't Canto Bight. We got a porn planet where they just go by, but
Yep.
clearly that's where everyone would be. And then we get to the hub world where we see the ultimate version of VR chat, and this is just cameo vomit in this one. You got, I don't know, everyone. It's easier to list who isn't in there. Disney characters. Like Disney and Star Wars characters are definitely not
I
in
guess
this
that's
movie.
about it.
And Marvel characters. You sure have all the
Yeah.
DC characters. You even have Spawn, and you have like all
Yeah,
of
I know.
Capcom and
Spawn
no.
was the one that I actually thought was cool, and they showed him.
you don't have. There's no Nintendo characters either, right?
I saw Sonic, but I don't see any.
That's not a Nintendo character.
I know.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so no Nintendo and no Disney in this future world. So
Yeah, that made
Uh,
sense.
And we get some. We gotta get some Chekhov's gun going so we can pick it up later. We learn about artifacts. They give you random powers and they're really expensive. We also see people fighting on this planet that will take place in the climax, Planet Doom. We see H is fighting and shooting Freddy Krueger, and he is
I think Duke Nukem's there.
yeah, Duke Nukem's there. H is Parsible's best friend that totally isn't a woman with a voice modulator. And in the middle of this fight, we have Raynor from StarCraft
Yeah.
taking center stage. They're showing more love to StarCraft than
Then
Blizzard.
Oh, you got Blizzard.
Oh, pew, 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 pew. Here, Parzival explains how the economy works. If you die in the game, you respawn, but you lose all your coins and items, literally everything that you've collected, and like this would
That
make
was
for
higher
this.
stakes than I expected.
This would make
Yeah.
for a good like roguelike game. But this is
it doesn't
not.
actually make any sense.
This doesn't.
So, is that for anything? Like, even if you just want to play a game and you die in
Yes.
the game?
this is
the
why
way they make it sound like if you die
This-
here, you lose all your stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
they,
right.
they
This-
oversimplified it to be like you
there's
should have
no
a bank
way-
system. Yeah,
And this was my problem. There's no way that the world economy would shift like
everybody
that.
would literally just murder everyone until you have the most. Like
There's
it would,
no way that the world economy would shift to this. This would be like in a game. Sure, in one of the worlds, you have like a roguelike type thing where you lose all
Yeah,
your
right,
I
but not-
kind of assumed that there were worlds you could go to and
No.
like play where the stakes weren't
No,
that
there's
high.
no
but no,
banking.
you're
yeah,
right.
This is so. That's what it's. that's a good point. It's hard to believe that the world would ever revolve around this. And then we also find out that you're not even allowed to put ads or shit in the game yet because of Halliday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, this
So
really
you're-
wouldn't be. The only reason
So
like
this
phone
is a
games
micro-
are popular is because you just microtransact
This is-
and you throw pop-ups. Like,
This is a microtransaction game. This world is a microtransaction thing because everything costs money, like real money. You're buying, but you can get credits from other people. You can pick up their real money off the floor, their coins. So the economy wouldn't work like this. They show a guy like zeroing out, which is what they call, and he like tries to kill himself. He jumps out the building,
Yeah.
and it's a joke because he didn't kill himself, but a lot of people probably
They
do
did.
every day.
I mean, he was going to if that guy didn't tackle him.
Yeah.
He was definitely going to jump out the window.
Yeah. So we learned a little bit about Halliday, who's the creator of the Oasis. He was very important and influential, and he died in 2040. But when he died, he sent a message out to everyone that there are 3 keys in the Oasis, and whoever finds them all will get the Easter egg and all of his shares worth $500 billion and control of the Oasis. So stakes, lots
Yeah.
of money at play.
Yeah.
$500 billion. And that was 5 years ago. Who knows? It probably would have gone up.
Yeah.
So the hunt begins.
Interest or whatever.
Yeah.
So how the
I
digital
didn't realize
currency
it was
works.
going to be the whole movie going for the
Nope.
the
The
egg.
whole movie, that's why, yeah,
Yeah.
you really got your world building in that opening thing. And that's before the opening titles. So, boom.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Stakes. We have a race against whatever to get these 3 keys and to
Yeah.
find the Easter egg.
So world
race
built,
against
stakes
other people.
established.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Here we go. So, in 5 years, nobody has successfully completed the first quest. Someone found it. Gunter found it. You love this movie. And they have terms like Gunter.
Yes.
Okay.
what was that? Wasn't that the same term also from?
It's the sad guy from Friends.
No, what was the one from Alita Battle Angel? Weren't they also called like Gunters or something? What were the
Oh, really? I don't know.
the bounty hunters? What were they called in that movie? They had like a name
Oh,
too.
they did. I don't remember. Weird terms. I don't know. It's the future, so we have to have
I
weird
think
terms.
a lot of this stuff
Yeah.
just didn't upset me as much as it did you guys.
Look, the Gunter thing is like fine. Everything has its own terminology.
No, it's fine.
just-
Wait, but
It's fine.
he found the challenge? Is that.
No, they
What-
sometime in the past 5 years, a Gunter found the first challenge, and it's a race.
Yeah.
To get to at the
Because
finish line is
they
the first
say like
key.
when he died, like
Oh,
a library with
yeah, that
all of his
happens.
memories
that happens,
opened up.
Yes, that happens after he figures out the first. Yeah,
Oh, after the first clue
after the
happens,
first
then it
race.
comes up.
After the first
they
race,
bring it up,
they-
yeah.
they bring it up. But yeah. Anyway, we got the Gunters, and we also have the video game conglomerate IOI, headed by Nolan Sorento, who employs a lot of researchers, top gamers, and like this is the dystopian part. Like they have indentured servants basically to pay off debts. They're all called Sixers. He's a dickweed, Wade says, because he likes business.
Now, were there debts built from the Oasis or?
Debt.
It sounds like it was kind of
They-
arbitrary.
it
They
was
built
arbitrary.
up debt any
Anyway.
way.
They
Yeah.
don't tell you,
Yeah.
and especially with the Artemis stuff, where they're like, "We've consolidated all your debt," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, the famous, very popular, very successful at the world economy streamer Artemis is in
Yes.
debt."
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, the movie
famous-
has to happen, but like so famous that he's watched
I
all
guess
her
Twitch really fell down in 20 years. Yeah, but everyone's watching your Twitch streams.
But if she has, oh my God, she's got the cure. If she has all the best stuff, how is she
How is
in
she
debt?
in debt?
Yeah,
No, it's
She couldn't monetize her Twitch live stream?
Fair.
she was using so much licensed material.
the debt system didn't make
all right.
sense to me.
Well, we have a race.
It's a cool idea that if you get in debt, you have to work it off.
Yes.
But again, if in a movie was made for adults, they might actually go into that.
Right.
But literally, yeah, they just make it this stupid chase for dumb shit. So you have to be like, oh, the cool, interesting stuff is over here. And then here's just what dumb shit we're doing now.
and you know what that dumb shit is? A race.
Yep.
We're doing
Nice.
a race
Nice
through
segue.
through virtual Manhattan, through cameo-ridden Manhattan. We got
But before we go all in on the race, maybe we should take a quick break.
all right. We will take a break, and when we get back, we will talk about the race. And we are back, and we are jumping right into the race. Back into action. You ready, Odom?
Yep, ready.
He got his drink in. All right, we got challenge 1. It's a cool-looking race with more cameos. The biggest, of course, being Parsible's car, is the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
But it can't just be
No,
the DeLorean.
it's more than just the
It's
DeLorean.
got Kit, too.
But it never talks. Yep.
From Knight Rider.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
The red thing that goes back and forth on it.
I didn't see that either.
There's
I
there's
didn't
a
notice that.
couple double references. You
Yep.
got to pay attention.
Yep. But Parzival has to start in the back because he has to pick up coins from players who are killed to refuel his car. Again, fun as a game. As an economy, this is insane. So it's cameos versus IOI's cars. We got the Batmobile. We got the bike from Akira. And on that bike from Akira
see the
is
Batmobile.
oh,
You
it was
didn't see
the
it's the
it almost
19
fell
it's the
off
60s
it was
one.
the
It almost
60s
fell
Batmobile.
off the
Oh, it did
bridge?
fall off.
Or,
Yeah,
yeah, it did
H
fall
knocks
off.
it off.
Yeah.
And we get riding the bike from Akira is the famous, but somehow thousands of dollars in debt, Gunter Artemis. And, you know, she's so famous because everyone watches her Twitch streams, including Parzival. And we get, what do we get? We get the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, makes a cameo in Chinatown. H gets a flat, knocks off the Adam West Batmobile off the cliff. But in the end, no one can get past Kong, not even Artemis in her Akira bike. Parzival decides to save her by jumping and doing a spinny thing.
Like tackling her out
Yeah,
of the air.
tackling her off.
She'll
the,
zero out.
the bike gets wrecked by Kong. But she's not killed thanks to Parzival. So they take Artemis over to H's workshop.
I have a question about this.
Yes.
The universe. So they shown
Yes.
with characters, you can like do like Sonic can spin dash.
Yes.
Tracer can dash and teleport.
Yes, you kind of
So
have
I'm
your
assuming
powers.
anything you have of your powers, all that's blocking people from the finish line is King Kong. You don't have a vehicle or anything that fucking
vehicle can fly.
flies. You have nothing that like seriously. This is just shut down the whole fucking community.
Yes, King
just
Kong for 5
that's
years.
it? You haven't shot him dead with any car, a death race car. It's nonsensical.
I didn't think this race was like really stupid. And
Oh, and the solution for this race is really stupid.
It's so. My problem when I came out of the theater, and it also was because I think I had just like played Bloodborne and really delved deep into the online community. No secret remains hidden from people online. They solve things so quickly that the idea that this thing that literally the entire world plays, they couldn't solve
For
One
5
They
problem.
couldn't
years.
and it's so obvious because
Yeah.
like the character Halliday is like written. I think like he's autistic or he's some sort of like they write him, which is cool and empowering. But he literally just says like, go backwards as fast as you can. You're like, nobody even tried that even without having to hear it. You like, no one ever just like tried
Went
to test
backwards?
because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
yeah,
that
yeah.
most people
There's
try to
literally-
break games. They
There's
try to,
literally a YouTube channel called Boundary Break.
they literally try and like you don't go the way it wants you to go. See how that's how you like speedrun shit. You break games, and
Right.
there's a huge community.
Yeah,
It's,
you try to no clip. You try to go
that's
through
another
walls.
problem I have with this. Was like this whole idea is insane because as much smaller in our world, a much smaller community does this quickly. And you tell me that the Oasis is the only thing that fucking matters to the world, and no one has, especially when the solution is so simple. It's
The
you
solution
just,
was
you just go
was in
backwards.
Yes, and the solution was in Halliday's memories, and he says it
When
out
my
loud.
sister plays video games, she does that shit by accident. Nobody accidentally went backwards. Fucking baby movie.
Anyway, yes,
Kids movie.
it is a kids movie, as for some reason.
No, it's a baby's movie.
All right. Well, yes. So yes, he goes and meets the curator, and the curator shows him memories because he's recorded all of his memories. He can
Simon
wa-
Pegg, the curator.
Yes, Simon Pegg, the curator. Totally won't see him later. But yes, he watches his memory, where Holiday forces out his partner because that's obviously an important part of his life. And he can say he remembers everything. He like can quote everything except for the go backwards line. And then he's like, wait a minute, like
Wait, that was there? I don't remember that.
Yeah,
from this
I forgot the
scene.
most important. There's a lot of this like obsession with Halliday that I just think weakens it. Like my big problem with like Wade is that sure the idea is like Sorrento's bad because he's in it for the money, and it's like Well, wait, you only like everything because it's what Halliday did.
Right.
You didn't like find your own love. You're just copying him and you're doing it to like solve a puzzle.
You're doing it for $500 billion.
There's a really important part later where I'm just like, ugh, where they're. Maybe we can wait till we get there. It's when they go back with Artemis. I'll tell you my problem with that later.
Let's keep going because we see H's shop real quick for just some references. We see Iron Giant. That's going to come back later. The Serenity ships. We got
Literally
little tiny
just
ships.
pick up ships that
Yes,
are
that are
references.
going to be references for later. He fixes her ship in a few minutes. We find out
Her bike.
Her motorcycle.
that she's her motorcycle. We find out that they're both big Holiday fans, and we really over-explained.
GoldenEye!
Really over-explained
GoldenEye!
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye!
Oh, I wrote
Slappers
only.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alright.
that hurt different too. I wrote in all caps. Oh wow, Odd Job Slappers only GoldenEye. What a fucking deep cut.
Yeah, what a deep cut.
That's
I
the,
agree
that's the
with
most
this one.
basic thing. If you ever say GoldenEye, everyone's just like, oh, Odd
don't
Job
play Odd
Slappers.
Job.
On Slappers only. Wow. Jesus.
Deep cut.
They said it like it was so cool.
Yep.
It's like, what is the broadest reference that millennials will get? And we'll put it in there as like this cool.
I don't know. I mean, this happens a lot. This is one of many examples, but we got to move on.
And this is where he says
Alright.
he doesn't. Right? He says he doesn't clan.
Yes, he doesn't clan, but H can read his heart rate in the real world, so H knows that he likes her.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Back to the real world. Parsable has a really shitty home life. His parents died, so he lives with his aunt, and her boyfriend spends all their money and beats Parsable. That sucks.
Too shitty of a home life.
She spent all of their money on upgrades to try and win that one.
Yeah, he spent
The
all their
prize.
money to win something.
The two wasn't it the gauntlet for 2 minutes?
Oh, the
of
gauntlet
robot?
for 2 minutes to become whatever you want. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
That
So
artifact.
they're all out of money, and it's because
What
I
were they
guess-
saving up for? What they
That
saving?
that
It
item.
sounds like they were gonna move away.
Yeah, and that
She-
item
she
would
had-
Yeah, I thought they were gonna
they were
move
gonna
out of there.
away.
Or
Yes,
something.
they were gonna get a better life.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
spent it all in the game.
Yeah.
What a-
Commentary.
But he was angry because I guess
Parsable used.
He used
Wade
the
took
gloves.
the gloves.
Yeah.
or
And that's
better
why he
gloves.
died. Yeah. No, I thought the parents were a little too one-dimensional.
Everybody
Yeah,
everybody
I
is
mean-
like really one dimensional in this, but it's all
sure.
it's all the time
But
you have.
because they're in it so little, like, I don't
They're
know,
bad.
that one
We
was
got- we
very.
got Harry
yeah,
Potter
exactly.
caretakers,
They're
all
bad.
right?
Get it. Home life bad.
We got Harry.
Okay.
Yeah. Boo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drive backwards, guys. Let's drive backwards. He's trying the race again the next day, and he drove backwards. And guess what? He no clips through, and we see under the race.
It
He
looked really
well,
cool.
it doesn't even no clip. It just opens up
You're
a
right.
little,
It
Yeah,
doesn't
it
even
just-
no
it
clip.
just-
It actually physically goes under.
and then he just drives perfectly.
But then they no clip
he drives
later.
perfectly backwards. But I guess in the
It had like lanes. I feel. I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
Have
sure,
you ever tried
Yeah.
to drive backwards at
It's
speed?
so-
It's so hard.
It's so hard.
Well, he
so
did it.
freaking hard.
He did it.
Huh? Yeah.
He did it.
This guy's-
And
he's
again,
got
nobody,
skills.
nobody can figure this out, but he,
He
did.
didn't know that he was ever gonna have to do that, but when he had to do it, he did it perfectly.
I don't
the
think we
first
need to
time.
get hung up on
no,
him
no,
driving.
it's
like,
just it's
no.
fine.
No.
I'm wondering. I'm like, what I was gonna say is, shit, kids don't know how to drive. But then I'm like, oh, if you grew up your whole life in the Oasis, you
you
probably
probably know
are,
how to drive. Yeah,
and
you're
it's like when
probably
you're
great.
young, you're probably like insane drivers.
Everyone's great
I
at fighting.
took it
Everyone's
as,
great
like-
at driving.
I took it as all you had to do is figure out to go backwards. That like the
Oh, just
driving
the
lane
track,
wasn't.
like-
Yeah, the track just.
It might. It
Guided
doesn't
you
matter.
was
It's
easy.
fine.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
You know what?
It-
Barsville gets to the end. He
it was a-
bypasses King Kong by going under him. Look at that.
King Kong was pissed.
He meets Halliday's avatar.
He meets Amarak.
Yeah.
What's his
Amarak?
name? I wrote
Is
it down.
that how it's-
Amarak the All-Knowing,
Yep.
which is a poor man's Arbogast the Wizened.
Arbogast. Yes.
That's a deep cut for us. Podcast listeners, though, they get that.
They'll get that. Yeah.
Arbogast.
Arbogast.
Yeah, so he gets the first key and the clue to the next one. Cut to IOI HQ, and we get our first real scene of Ben Mendelsohn being the least threatening villain he's ever played, but he's having fun.
You
I
know what?
guess.
I came to appreciate him on this rewatch.
He's like a dork. He's like a.
now I know what this
Oh,
movie's
I liked
about.
his performance.
He's playing it just as stupid as this movie is.
Basically, I thought he gave a great Dick Richards-esque line when he said, one of the execs says, the shareholders won't be happy. And he's like, my job not... It's not my job to make them happy. It's my job to make them money.
I guess I do like this more because of Dick Richards.
Yes. He is a very... Just with
Yeah.
a little bit more murderous intent, but basically a Dick Richards type. Because now we see his villainous plan. Free-to-play gaming! Ah, pop-ups.
He wants to have up to 80% of the screen be ads.
Yep.
Yep.
His line was that
It's
we can
so
fit up to 80% without inducing seizures.
Oh yeah, without inducing
Yeah.
seizures.
Yeah.
It's just like
Again, it's a kid's.
it has to be so ridiculous, I guess, because it's
Isn't it also weird that
simple
there's
to
no Fortnite
understand.
characters in this?
crazy.
Oh, it was
Oh
before.
my God.
It's like it's
Fortnite
already
came out
dated. It's like it already
Yeah.
dated itself. Whoops. Whoopsie. Anyway. Yeah. So we're back to Parsable. Parsible's famous now because he's the first guy to
Person
solve
on
it,
the
and
score
he
screen.
got
So
a
is
lot of
he-
money. He's famous and rich.
Yeah, it's like, is he first just because he got the key first, or because of all the money he got from?
No, he got the key. It's key.
He got the
Okay.
key.
He doesn't even have that much money. It's
It's
like
like
a ton for him,
100,000
but he spends
credits
it all
or
like
something.
on
Yeah,
three
yeah.
items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like when you see IROC, or that idiot's name is.
Yeah.
When he dies, it's like mountains and mountains
Yeah,
of
he
money.
got
like
a
there's
100.
people.
He got I don't know. And here's where we have literally a mall full of Chekhov's guns because we have the holy hand grenade that'll be used later. We got
Yeah.
the planet
Which
wiper
didn't,
Yeah.
didn't
that'll
that not
be used
do
later.
anything in the movie?
No,
No, it
that
did.
was a big
No,
thing.
in
Oh,
in the movie that's based on it
yes.
does nothing.
Yes, you're
Oh.
right. Yes.
Oh.
Well, you didn't explain that.
Yes, you're right. Ryu's moves, the Zemeckis Rubik's Cube. He buys all that. All going to be used for later. It's great. He's collecting everything. He also buys his haptic suit, which, again, if he's hunting, this would put him at a disadvantage.
I
if you
agree
can feel
with that.
pain.
I totally agree with that. Like, why would you want to feel pain?
But it's more it's but you also feel pleasure. You feel everything better. Like it's the
It
idea.
comes in handy when he's flirting with.
It does, but it doesn't come in
It
handy
doesn't
when
help
Ben
with
Mendelsohn
the-
gets hit in the dick. Like, why would he? Okay, then fine. Parsable would want, but why would Sorento wear it?
Because you can feel.
I
I
don't
think
know.
that the pain
It's fine.
you're looking too far into the pain thing, which is just a kid's trope of just
I
like
know,
a dick
it's
kick.
fine. We
Like,
get a dick kick. This
you,
is why
you
it's a
would,
kids movie.
you would want 110% have that
Oh,
suit
absolutely.
over anything else.
I would
Oh, well,
absolutely
yeah.
want it.
But
I just don't know
you
if
just
like
mean-
for competitive play.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just for immersion and it's a luxury.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're
just shows
like,
that
if you're-
have
if
to
you're-
have not.
If it's
Yeah.
a luxury item, how like
I
he
don't-
doesn't super need it for his quest.
and it's fine. He bought it because he has a lot of money.
He
a lot
wears
of money.
suits like it completely
Yeah.
fits that he just has the best
It's
of
fine.
everything.
All right, Sorento now goes into the Oasis, and we see his avatar, which I thought was hilarious. It's just like his face crossed with Superman's body. That just makes me laugh.
And his password is
His password is
Bossman
Bossman69. Like he's exactly like a
keeps it on a post-it in his
weird-
rig.
yeah.
We will get to that because I yelled at the screen for that one, but like, he you know what? Fine, we'll talk about it now. That is something a 50-year-old would do now. Someone who was born in the 60s and 70s, they would have their password on the screen. He was born in the 90s. He would not. A person who was born in the 90s does not put their password on a fucking
Sorento?
post-it. Yes.
He
Especially
wasn't born in the 90s.
He's like
They're
50.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
For this being set in the late
It's 2045.
2045.
Oh. Yeah, no. You're right.
Yeah. No. And
Erase what I said.
And-
The VR people can see me facepalm.
also,
Sorry that the
No, you're
but
right.
that the podcast
Remember,
people can't.
we're in the future.
also, you'd have it written down if you had like an always changing password. Like if you had an ever like a crypto and some kind of like encrypted special password changed.
I do not want to argue
This
against
is
this. You're totally
this is just
right.
like
This is dumb.
Bossman 69 is not a hard thing to remember, but it's just there because you have to.
It's done a couple more times where they're like, you're doing old people stuff and young people stuff based on like how people are now.
But it also doesn't make sense that you need a password because it clearly knows who you are on a genetic level.
Yep.
Because they show Artemis every time she gets in a different rig, it's still her avatar with just a different rig.
She never. No one ever types in a password.
That's true.
Nobody
Anyway,
gets the
he meets an
keyboard out.
assassin voiced by T.J. Miller called IROC. Yeah, T.J. Miller was a thing a while ago, a couple of years ago.
Sure.
Sorento-
In like a different movie, his little bits would be like funnier, and I did chuckle a little bit this time.
the
but
first time,
I thought,
Yeah.
thought
There
it
were
was
a
funny.
couple funny.
I think the first time it
bits.
was
it's
funny.
like funny, but I just don't.
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
Right.
But we see he gets the orb that's gonna come into play later, and Sorento hires IROC to kill Parsable. Yep. T.J. Miller tries to make a reference to the Tootsie Pop commercial, which falls flat.
Another one where it's like, it's a 3 or whatever, and he's like, remember that one? Dude, he did it in such a way that it was just like,
Again, T.J. Miller would have been born in like 2015.
oh yeah, you would never have
Wouldn't
known.
have known that.
He wouldn't have made those references.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I know. It's for us.
Yeah,
It's also just, you know how you do a good reference? What's up? Remember the Beloved commercial? Like,
Thank you,
From
Ant-Man.
Yes,
Yes.
dude.
That
Yes.
is a beautiful
Yeah.
reference.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Yep. All right. Anyway, here we go. Also, just another thing. Parsable has all of these newspaper clippings. A 20-year-old has newspaper clippings in his.
Van.
what's
Van.
oh yeah, what also doesn't make any sense is when those newspaper clips happen would be in the future, right? They would be like 10 years in the future or later. So who is making newspapers?
What newspaper?
Print,
In an
print
entirely
makes a
digital
resurgence
world?
apparently
Yeah.
in this
the
universe.
bandwidth wars, print had a
Yeah.
resurgence, Davis. It totally tracks.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, the Holiday Museum is popular again, and he Parzival shows up and is immediately mobbed. Artemis jump scares Parzival with a Goro and Alien crossover. That thanks to Mortal
It's a
Kombat.
reference inside a reference, guys.
But hey, thanks to Mortal Kombat 11, that's it's possible now. It's more plausible. But yeah,
That's
she
really
points out
gross.
that he's too famous to be walking around, so she gives him Clark Kent glasses so he can walk around without anyone noticing him, and he doesn't have to change his look. But then he gets a suit anyway. I'm like, okay, whatever. I think this is a good idea for a game. This seems like something that would be in like a VR chat type game. If you want to hide your identity, you just look like another avatar to everyone else. But they over-explain it, so then it ruins it.
like everything else, you ruined it.
Like they ruined it by over-explaining it. So they head back into there with the curator, and they see a memory of 2025 when the Oasis is about to go live. And I truly hope that this timeline happens, or at least we get close to it. If we can get in 5 years, if we can get the Oasis,
I mean, we already have it. in VR
that'd be
chat.
pretty tight. I mean, it's close in VR chat, but we also need the running and the other stuff.
That also means you're going to need a vast majority of the population to like buy into VR at that point in time.
Hey, Quest still sold out, so fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's not as much volume as you think, though.
Yep. Holiday's talking about his one and only date. It was with his partner, Og's future wife, and he said they rented a movie. Her name was Kira, and he removed every other reference of her in his memories except this one. And the curator bets him otherwise, and he said, "No, go look. I bet you everything I bet you all my coins." And the curator was proven wrong, and he flips him a quarter that totally won't come into play later.
Just a regular ass
just a
quarter.
regular-
so there was
quarter.
one part that just like bothered me in this scene because it was Artemis that realized the woman connection, like that was the thing, and there was a part where Wade literally said, "Who cares? He had his shot and he didn't take it." Or whatever. I'm like, this just shows that you don't really care about Halliday's feelings. You like are so flippant and dismissive of his feelings. You just want to solve
I mean,
them.
like it goes back to they're just you
That's
don't
why I
really
have a-
like these
I
things.
have a hard
yeah.
time like getting. I just don't care for Wade because I'm like,
Wade, yeah.
you and the villain want the same thing. You just say that it's for like better reasons, but it's like you don't even care. You don't love anything. You only care about what the guy cared about. So yeah, I don't know. And you don't even.
Yeah, he just
Clearly
obsessed
you
about
don't-
it the most.
And when they have a talk about like his emotions, you're like, whatever. He fucked it up. I don't care. And you're like, this guy that you like
Idolize?
deities or yeah, like all right.
Yep. But yes. So Parzival thinks that Kira's his rosebud, the rosebud of Holiday Story, and I love that they over-explain so many references from the 80s and 90s, but casually drop rosebud. That's shows where Spielberg's priorities are at. Anyway, Artemis invites Parzival to a dance club planet because she thinks that she's onto something. Parzival prepares for his first date by overusing references. We got Buckaroo Banzai at the end there, and we got Thriller, and we got other references. Okay. And H says like you shouldn't trust anyone in the Oasis. H ironically points out that she might not even be a girl. See the irony, guys? That H is pointing that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll come back to that.
Could
later.
be a 300-pound dude named Chuck.
Yep.
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 It's
But she
always
says-
the 300-pound dude named Chuck.
But yeah.
Every time.
All right, but we get the suit from Buckaroo Banzai is what he goes with. So deep cut, woo. It's not really a deep cut anymore, but now the Dance Club planet. Parzival is mobbed by fans, and a huge-breasted furry takes a selfie with him. They did get that right. There's going to be a lot of furry avatars when Oasis really comes out. Artemis, but she was a spy for IROC, so she sends his picture over to him. Artemis thinks that if they take a leap of faith in the zero-G dance floor, they'll go down and find the next part of the clue, but they were wrong. But plus side, we get a Saturday Night Fever dance number, so woo. Artemis gets very handsy with Parsable.
She gets like body with him.
She gets
swims under
She
his
swims under his crotch,
junk.
gives him a few brushes.
And he is like, I am so glad I bought this bodysuit.
Yep.
He even
This
like
was the
name
best
drops. They got the
investment.
crotch. It's like
Yeah.
I guess they got the awkward, shitty flirting part of Youth down, where he just like literally
Yeah.
says like I got the crotch thing too, and she's like okay,
Okay.
but then she like does it, so it's like all right, whatever.
Yeah. And because he's thinking with his dick, Parsable reveals his real name to her. Ah, big mistake. Even she says that's a big mistake. He follows that up, saying that he loves her. Just like, wow,
Yeah.
2 strikes.
Whoa,
Right in a
Yeah.
row.
hello.
Whoa, buddy.
Whoa.
She should get out of there immediately.
Yeah. But before
Stage
she can get the
5
fuck out of
player.
there, IOI shows up. And it thankfully breaks up the stupidity, and we get a cool zero-G shootout. This scene was cool, guys. There was minimal references. There was guns pew-pewing. You see like how armor kind of works. It was fun.
Yeah, visual stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Less talking, more pew-pewing.
But how do we ruin it? Let's do another reference, guys. The Zemeckis cube. What?
The Back to the Future cube.
So it goes back 30 years in time.
When was there a Rubik's cube in Back to the Future?
Oh, I mean, that's a good point. I was just talking about the time element.
But also it
Yeah.
goes back 60 seconds.
It goes back 60 seconds. There's
Oh, I'm not defending
there's no
it. That
Rubik's
was a
cube in Back to
joke.
the Future.
If it went back like 88 seconds, you almost could play that off like it was a goddamn reference. But this movie doesn't actually care. There's no soul.
They just call it a Zemeckis cube.
This movie
Zemeckis
is
cube.
Sorento. Like I'm telling you, it's just exactly what he is.
Yeah. Fuck. So
Getting
everything goes back in time. Everything goes back in time 60 seconds, and they escape. And we get a little backstory about how her father died in one of these detention programs.
Loyalty
these-
centers.
Loyalty
Loyalty
centers.
centers,
These
yeah.
indentured servitude stuff. So that's bad. And it's
I think they explained how her father went into debt here, but I didn't
I
totally
don't remember.
understand
He
it.
went into debt. It's all kids movie stuff. I even wrote
Yeah,
down here. It's
okay.
all kids movie
Right.
mistakes.
It-
It's like
okay.
he went into debt. He was
Didn't
taken by the
really
detention
matter.
center,
And he died
in
there.
the detention
All
center.
we know is
Moving
that's
on.
her motivation, and that whatever.
Moving on. So IROC, instead of killing, was listening in because he was actually being kind of smart here and find out that Parsible's real identity is Wade and reports it to Sorento. Sorento actually gets villainous as he orders a hit on Wade in the real world. But before he goes through the hit,
It's the Ghost. It's Ghost from Ant-Man 2.
yeah, it's Ghost. And yeah, his assassin lady is
the
Ghost
actress,
from Ant-Man
yeah.
2. He basically gives him an offer, gives him he'll give him anything he wants, even the Millennium Falcon, the only Star Wars reference we can get because you can say it, we can't show it.
Shocked they could say it.
And a salary of $4 million a year. And Sorento starts to try to be cool by making movie references, and Parsable tries to trap him with a quick trick question about John Hughes movies. But we see Sorento having the earpiece with the nerd crew, who are feeding him pop culture references. I think that this is the one time that this works. Like,
Sure.
well, what? I mean, yes, he wouldn't care about these references.
Absolutely. In a vacuum, this works and the scene works too, because later on he's like, I had to make the offer, but I
Yeah.
actually don't want to. It's just dumb because it just illustrates the problem with its own movie. This scene is the movie. It's like, oh, you don't really care. You're just making references, and that's what the movie is. It's also, I would argue, it's one of the weakest movies because it exposes the flaw of the fucking movie. It's fine. Just go.
This scene doesn't
We
expose
deserve-
the flaw. It's
we
all the
deserve
o-
to die.
it's all the other scenes. That, wow.
If everybody just like slurps this up like it's fucking delicious when it's just like a shit shake.
I think it's all the other scenes that point this out. I don't think it's this. Anyway, It's
This
okay.
scene points out that like you're a faker. Look, you just are
Oh,
doing
yeah,
this
no,
for
they're about to-
profit.
they're about to
and I'm
ruin
like,
it, yes.
Okay, rest of the movie.
What are you doing?
yes, but yeah, we're about to ruin it because he says a fanboy knows a hater. Oof.
Yikes.
Yeah, that
Yeesh.
was like one of the worst lines of the movie.
Brian,
I didn't have the same reaction.
moving on. All right. I feel like we're
Weren't
just
you talking about
I feel like we're just
the
gonna keep-
cringeworthy moments? That was like the worst.
The camper
Of the
one
worst.
too is, but yeah, no, actually,
yeah.
that probably is the
No,
worst single line.
I said if it had cringeworthy moments. I think you guys picked up on more cringe than I did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he declines the offer, and we find out that Sorento was hoping for this outcome because now he gets to blow him up. Yay! Though he thought he was in his family's trailer, so instead he's targeting Parsible's.
Here's the
shitty
weird
family.
thing: is that they're like, we have drones watching it the whole time, and he hasn't left since the night before. But to get out, they clearly show him meticulously on the
thought that too.
exterior
Yep.
Yeah.
going down.
I'm not
Right.
sure how they missed
Is
it.
that a plot hole? It's not a plot.
Not hole.
It's not a plot landscaped area.
It's not a plot manhole. It's a plot hole. Okay. Anyway, we get some commentary here because we have the drones going out and like doing a hit on someone, and that's like, you know, sort of the drones that we have now. We got some arresting imagery here. Just trying to point out some positives, Davis. You can't just blink at them over there.
These drones, they deliver packages and they kill people.
Yep.
They're
There.
very versatile.
Yeah.
Very versatile drones.
But
they
so
do, they have,
he's running back because he knows that the family's being targeted. He calls his aunt to warn her, but the boyfriend takes the phone from her and says, "I don't want to hear your voice ever again." Cut to explosion.
Well, he
Yeah.
said, "Thanks for the body." Did he?
Oh yeah, he stole his bodysuit.
stole the
too.
He
body
stole his
suit.
body,
So I think
but he
there
has
was-
a bodysuit later.
I think there was a
No,
cut
no,
scene
no,
where
no,
he
no,
got
no.
to his van somewhere. I don't know.
He has a outfit.
I
that
think
was
he
more
bought
than
him
just
one.
his.
I think
No,
the
it was-
idea was he bought him one.
No, there's definitely a cut scene because he's wearing the bodysuit in the other scene. He wasn't wearing a bodysuit when he talked to Sorento. So yes, somewhere there's a cut scene.
Does he not
And
have
yes-
a bodysuit the rest of the movie?
No.
He has like an outfit.
No, he does
that
not have a
looks
bodysuit.
like a different suit.
It's a different bodysuit. He does not have that
well,
bodysuit.
but it's never explained how he gets this new thing.
His step guardian took it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Explosion. Parsable is stunned.
There goes my bodysuit.
That's literally.
Ah!
He cares for like 1 second. Yeah, he probably does care more about the bodysuit than. Yeah. Anyway, he's stunned. He goes to the van to call his friends and warn them, but is choked out by a mysterious dude hiding in the shadows, and we fade to black. Gasp.
And when we come back, we'll fade back in.
We'll fade back up, but right now we will fade to black. And we are back, and we fade up, and Parsable wakes up in a secret underground organization and meets Artemis in person. Welcome to the rebellion, the only time the rebellion is shown. They go to the roof, and it turns out she lived near him the whole time. Because?
Just not a big deal, but just something that worth pointing out is they're like, you don't know what she looks like. She could be a 300-pound person named Chuck, and then she's like, you would be disappointed.
Yep.
Nope, she's just like a smoke show with a really
No,
cool
but she
Kratos
has
birthmark.
But she has literally what I wrote is the Kratos birthmark. Yeah.
I was just like, wow, way to make a real bold choice.
Bold choice. Very, very ugly. Very ugly.
Oh my gosh, so
It's,
disfigured.
attractive 20-year-old. Nope. Ah, that Kratos scar.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
She looks better than her avatar.
Kind of, yeah. They take a moment to chill, and Spielberg tries to drive home how great real life is. Man, things move slower here. Really just laying it on. Oh, sorry, it's really thick here. Ah,
Oh my gosh.
oh, it's so thick. Sorry. Oh,
Yeah, don't touch
Like
me.
molasses.
oh,
or like
yes.
syrup. You know?
Kind of sweet. Yes, it's sappy too.
Yeah.
This was a fun reference. All right, but by taking a second, Artemis is able to figure out the second clue. They go to the Holiday Museum and pick a movie that Holiday was watching with Kira, The Shining. Wah, 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 wah. So they go into the recreation of the Overlook Hotel, and they get it pretty. Visually
like
they nail it.
Yeah.
Sure looks like the Overlook Hotel.
What spurs her
Yeah.
revelation? What?
Don't worry about it. They were
Okay.
taking the time. They were being
Because
together.
it was like he was like weird about not wanting to dance, but then they were like, oh, they watched a movie. There was a reason. Oh, shoot. Well, it was because each clue has words.
Yeah.
And it was something in the words because remember they pulled up all the movies.
Yeah.
And
So-
it was when
Oh.
Shining came by. I was like, that's the one
Oh,
he was.
because the
he
creator
watched.
it's about something about the creator.
right.
hating
hating
his
it.
creation.
Hated
Yeah.
its creation.
even
I thought it was
so-
gonna be like Frankenstein or something.
Even so, like they only had like 20 movies to go through. It's another one that I'm like, guys, you had all of his memories.
It's really funny that it took them like how many years to get the first clue, and then like they're breaking the next other clues in like seconds.
Because they're trying now. It really feels
Apparently
like
They're
no one
working
tried.
together in real life.
Apparently, this section in the book is Blade Runner, but they couldn't get the rights to Blade Runner
Thank
because they had a movie going on at the same
Thank
time. So they went with The Shining.
Get your damn hands off Blade Runner. That's a reference too.
Yep. All right, but now we get they have 5 minutes to find the key. H hasn't seen the movie, so he heads off, and all the horror stuff happens to H. We get the twins. We get the blood. We get the here's Johnny.
It's funny
We
because
get-
he's a big scary character, and you think he's like this.
Nope. But yeah, what the other characters have to like watch it through their eyes. He said, I think one of the guys said that. And,
Oh, really? They could see like his feed.
What? Wait, what do you actually?
what
what
are
are you
you
talking
Oh,
about?
you were saying like, oh, what? How scary is it? Oh, I had to watch it through my eyes. Is what?
Oh,
is,
that
it's like one of the
thing.
5 lines that
Show says.
Show
yeah,
gets,
Sorry,
yeah.
I didn't. I actually didn't know
Yeah,
what you're talking
sorry.
about either.
Trying to go fast
Watch
here.
through his hands. Is that
That's what he's
is that
saying.
what he
He
meant?
said
Yeah.
The Shining was scary.
Right.
So scary, he had to watch through his hand.
Which is weird
Yeah.
because The Shining is actually not scary. There's
Wait,
like
is
so
that-
little scares in
Wait,
it.
is that the 11-year-old that says that though? Because that would make sense.
I don't know.
it doesn't matter.
Whatever.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
Okay.
Moving
Okay.
on. We'll probably
Yeah.
cut it out. They go and all the scary stuff happens, and they go to a ballroom that's full of floating dancing zombies, which aren't in The Shining, but it's a reference to the first game Halliday made. So The Shining didn't matter. But yeah, we had fun going through the greatest hits.
Yep.
All right.
As you were.
For like
Artemis-
5 minutes.
Artemis makes the jump and through a jumping puzzle segment gets to Kira, who's floating in the center. Holiday's biggest fear was kissing a girl, the leap he didn't take. This is a kids movie, so they didn't actually get to kiss.
No, it's dancing.
Oh, dancing. You're right, dancing.
Yeah.
The leap he didn't make, so she asked for a dance.
Right. He didn't take her dancing. He took her to watch a movie instead.
Yep. So
Was the idea that they watched The Shining instead? I don't
yes,
know.
they watched
Yeah.
The
Literally,
Shining,
she wanted to go dancing. They watched the movie
They watched
instead.
The
That's what
Shining.
they said. All right.
and it's
She gets the key. She meets Amarak, and then they say that like the rest of the team
the rest of the team does it off screen.
Does it off screen.
It is a thing where once one person figures it out, it's pretty easy. At least if they kind of know. I guess IOI had trouble figuring it out because it's so scary.
We're all getting
They're
murdered
all
by
getting
like.
killed.
Yep. But Sorento finds out that Parsable is still alive. So the drones start searching the city, and literally in the next scene, the rebellion is raided and shut down. That was a fun 2 minutes screen time for the rebellion. Artemis hides Parsable and gets herself captured, giving him time to escape. She's sent to the debt center, just like her dad. Oh no, guys.
Loyalty Center. It's more
Loyalty
pleasant.
Center. It sounds
pleasant
better if
when
it's
it's
called
called
Loyalty Center. Yeah. As
Branding
Wade,
is important.
as Wade runs through the streets, he runs into a woman who turns out to be H. Everyone lives in the same town. And look, she was a woman the
How
whole time.
convenient!
Very
Everybody
convenient.
lives right in the same neighborhood.
Yep, everyone lives in Columbus. Show's there. He's 11. That's all the character development we get from Show is that he's 11. What's the
And that
brother's
gives
name?
us two very not great jokes.
Daito, I can't remember
Dido.
his.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Dido is the brother.
Like Toshiro.
He's
or
his
something?
brother.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Those are the rest of our characters.
Also,
I will
were
say, like,
they
I
were they
barely-
already supposed to have teamed up like in real life? Did they all know each other previous to this?
Artemis,
How-
no,
he
he
was
they
like-
said that Artemis called them all.
Artemis called him on. You're like,
Oh.
on what and when?
When she went like this while she was being captured.
You can okay.
Sure, she texted them.
The only thing, one thing I did like is that Artemis on her headset had like a sticker of Batman,
Yep.
which I like because I have a
'Cause
sticker
you have a
of
sticker of
Magneton
yeah.
on my
On your Oculus
on my
Go?
Oculus Go. I was
Yeah.
like, that actually works when they have like little stickers on their stuff. I'm like, that's like almost. You
it's
know,
not
subtle.
taking a bat and beating
Yep.
you over the head with a
Yep.
reference.
All
It's
right,
just
wait. They gotta go to they gotta
Okay.
go to get Artemis. We
I
cut
can't
to-
believe he didn't say good, cool Batman sticker.
Yep. No. Cool Batman. Did you know that Batman was created in 1940?
Yeah.
1939. We cut to the loyalty center, and this is the one time that this future feels dystopian. She's locked in a room. Her
Can't get-
headset's locked onto her body, and if she doesn't follow orders, she gets shocked in real life. It only took an hour and 20 minutes for the movie to actually feel dystopian, but it's a kids movie, so kid movie dystopian. In the Oasis, she's planning charges for the eventual final battle, and we see Sorento has found the final challenge already. It's an Atari 2600 with every game on it. So the key is somewhere in one of the thousands of games, and after a minute, the player, if the player fails, he falls through the ice. IROC, who is still in this movie, activates an impenetrable force field around the final challenge, so no one else can try the challenge. Sorry, that was a lot of plot to get through there.
Choking on my own spit.
Choking on, yep.
That's a reference.
And yep, and they didn't think of adventure because the movie has to happen.
What's insane?
It kills me.
What's insane
I don't
is
know.
you're like,
Look, I know a lot about games. I'm not the best at this. I wouldn't be a game researcher.
But it's also bonkers because
it's famously known.
It's also like if you went alphabetically, you would have hit it right away. Like they have to like invent ways to not do it. It's like the most obvious. It's the first game with an Easter egg, and it's real early up there in the alphabet, and they have to be like, let's just try and do every other game but this one.
We'll get to this eventually.
Wait, do they have the games in alphabetical order and they're
No,
crossing
they
them
have
off randomly?
They have a bunch
They're
of
all
lists,
randomly,
and they're just
up
like
there.
picking random, and it's like. I don't know. I feel like if the idea was they literally have people lined up to play them and go through them, and you're like,
I don't
didn't
know,
just like
I don't
sort
know,
them in any kind of
I don't
thing.
know what list this wouldn't be like close to the top because even if they did like popularity, it's a very popular game. If they did it alphabetically, it's close to the top. Like maybe release year because I'm not exactly sure about its release year.
It's the only part of this that makes sense for kids of this age because they would have no idea about it.
Yeah,
so that
kids
you can
would
just
have-
believe. But it's I don't know. It's dumb. And this is when they start to give you like a weird arc for Sorrento's team where they have like the red,
now we start
this
showing
one
them.
redhead
comes
girl
out of nowhere.
who like they're all talking. She's like, wait a
You
second.
just get like a close up on her.
And then they flash back into her say it, and then the bearded other guy's like, adventure. And then when it's not that, he's like, ooh. And she's like, ooh. And then when they was right, she's like, I got it right.
And we kiss.
Arc.
That was an arc that was unnecessary. But everything's going well, so Sorento logs off. But Parsable and Daito are holding guns at his head. They demand that Artemis be set free. Parsable delivers a weird line read where he's like, "You killed my mother's sister."
That is
a
the
weird
weirdest
line
thing.
read.
That was the weirdest
So
line
your
read.
aunt.
Yeah.
I had to go back and I actually rewound that just to make sure I heard that right. 'Cause it was so jarring. It was so weird.
I actually had to go back a couple times because I was like,
Like that,
Huh?
that was your read? All right.
Like on the hater line?
Yep, they built. So Sorento agrees because there's guns to his head, and Parsable heads out the office doors, and turns out they're in H's workshop. He built the thing and made it photorealistic.
I thought that was like
It was
kind of
clever.
cool.
Oh, he leaves the door open like
It's
an idiot, so Sorento can figure out.
is that?
Yes,
what-
he sees a
okay.
reflection on his chair to
Okay.
the
Wait,
virtual.
the door was open?
Yes.
Was it? Because it looked like it was closed. Whatever. We don't need to.
I just thought they were also in the room and he saw the reflection, but that's
No,
dumb.
he sees the reflection of Parsable in the other room,
Oh.
Okay.
and that's
Yeah,
how
they
he,
left
that's
the
how he
door
realized
open.
it wasn't real. So he gets out.
Yeah.
So they only had him fooled for like a couple minutes.
They had him fooled enough so he can like tell Artemis how to
Right.
get out. That was basically it. So they stalled him for, I guess, an adequate amount of time.
Sure.
Now we're here. We're at our climax in the Oasis. Parsable does a broadcast to the entire community. With this is a terrible implementation of all chat. This would be totally abused if you could do this in the game. But we got our cliche. We got to work together for a common cause, friendship.
He
love.
wants to make money. We want to do it.
Yeah, but
'cause
we want
love
to do it for the Oasis. But it's okay. He says, I know this is incredibly cheesy, so it's okay that he says the cheesy fucking speech. And the speech works. After a beat, everyone shows up. We get an on your left for the final challenge. Every reference ever is crammed into the final fight. And while they're doing that, they're just fighting. I don't know. Let's cut back to the nerds, guys. They're now on adventure. They finally figured out adventure. Literally kills me. Anyway, we get Artemis is now Metal Gear Soliding towards the orb, disguised as an IOI minion. It was super easy, barely inconvenience. She just disarms the orb, and that gives everyone the rally cry with the 80s music. We're not gonna take it. Maybe that was 70s actually. And we get the big battle with all the cameos. We got DC heroes: Spawn, BFG, Railgun, Chucky. are one fuck in the PG-13 movie. The movie version
really?
of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Michael Bay version. I'm
I
like,
didn't even
that
see
one-
them.
Yeah, it's the bad ones.
I didn't either.
Huh.
I
that would not
didn't even notice.
stand the test
They
of
have
time.
a couple shots.
Yep.
Oh.
Battletoads are there.
Yeah, Battletoads
Yeah.
are there. Finally,
Halo.
Sorento enters the fight and summons Mechagodzilla. The Iron Giant fights Mechagodzilla because cool. Daito finally does something. He uses his Chekhov's gun to turn into a Gundam. I literally think this is a beta test for a live-action Gundam. I think that's the only real reason why they did this scene.
It's supposed to be Ultraman, but they couldn't get the rights to Ultraman.
And then I'm like, hey, we have the rights to this Gundam thing.
I mean, the Gundam look cool.
They look cool. That was a cool. It was.
Got a lot of money behind it. It can look good.
I mean, it's happening. There's a live-action Gundam coming out in a couple years. So.
Oh, cool.
But he doesn't land the killing blow in the 2 minutes that he has. Because you can have the Iron Giant forever, but this is just a 2-minute power-up. It's fine. At the last second, the Iron Giant brings Artemis up to eye level, and she shoots a... What were those little ball things called? I didn't look it up.
We used to have them. You squeeze them and their eyes pop out.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
do you
forgot.
know what it's
They're-
called?
No,
Okay.
but I used to have them. It's
But she throws it in, and it's a grenade, and it blows up Sorento. He's dead. Oh, but wait, he can just log back in. Parsable almost makes it to the end, but IROC blows up the bridge using those charges from before. H sacrifices herself by using the Iron Giant's body as a bridge so they can cross. Everyone's out of ammo except Shio, who finally does something and pulls out the Kroll weapon. Deep cut? And cuts off IROC's arm. Treasure starts pouring out of him because jokes. And we get a Terminator reference from
Iron
the Iron
Giant.
Giant
Yeah,
because
gives the
because
thumbs up.
jokes.
Yep.
Oh, but in the real world, Sorento finds out that Artemis is still in the building, so he's ripping helmets off left and right. Artemis has to log off so she can run away, but she doesn't want to because kid stuff. Just dumb kid logic. So Parsable has to kill her in the game to log her off. It's funny. I
Does
guess.
respawning get? Do they cover that in this?
so
You just log
have
back
to-
in.
You just
but
log back
you
in.
don't have any money.
Well, for the what was weird, the IOI when they lose, they
They have
get
to
up and
get up,
run,
and they
but
get
they
replaced,
Just
like,
run
immediately.
to another place and log in. So
Yeah.
it's a little.
That's what got me confused.
Do you think it's
I
just
don't-
because they want people with more money
I don't know.
in?
I don't know.
Well, they say go respawn and whatever, but it
But yeah,
also
so she runs away
to
right
get
before
open
he
machines for them to-
checks because
for her to
she
get
has
into.
to go and respawn. Yeah, it gives her a reason to run away. So she runs away. Back in the Oasis, Parsable finally uses the Holy Hand Grenade, and it kills literally everyone. He gets to the final challenge, but the minion who was playing beats the game. Oh, but he falls through the ice. John. Because again, the game has
Wasn't
the first...
about beating the game.
because the game has the first Easter egg. It's so well documented. Ah!
The documentation must have been lost in the.
In the
30s.
Bandwidth Wars.
Ah,
Oh,
damn it!
Yep.
It
lost.
didn't.
except for all of them knew it, when it was important, everyone knew it.
So Parsable takes over and begins to play, but is stopped by Sorento. He activates the Planet Killer Chekhov's gun. But before it's used, we get a 1v1 fight for a second. We get a Metsu Hadouken, but then it's one with a flash kick to the nuts.
Because you're in his world. You're in
we're-
my world.
Yeah, you're in my world, and this is a kid's movie.
Yep.
So the bad guy gets kicked in the nuts. But he lands next to the world-killing thing, and he hits it, and everybody dies.
IROC is trying to run away.
I thought it was hilarious that IROC was like, "Wait, I didn't know that's what you were gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, we
I have
did.
like
I
10 years
have
worth of
10
stuff
years.
in here."
Yeah. But everyone dies except for Parsable, who, he had that quarter. It was an extra life the whole time.
He did loot he was
think
back
he
to
lost-
stock outfit.
Yeah.
I think, so.
Yeah. but-
Yeah, he did.
It was weird that...
Was it
But
actually
he
an
kept
extra
the
life,
keys.
or he just
No,
had
everyone
one
else,
coin
Everyone
left?
else lost the keys. Like, it was supposed to be like a full reset. I don't know.
But
yeah,
he
you're
still
right.
had all 3 keys.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yes,
matter.
because
he
that's
did.
what
I
the
don't
quarter.
think he died.
He didn't die. I don't know
It
why
says
they...
extra life for some
But he
reason,
lost
but
all of his stuff.
I don't know why he lost his stuff.
because he lost all of his money.
No, because
not
it doesn't
important.
matter.
Just keep going.
Okay.
We're almost
Stupid
done.
plot.
All right,
Stupid
kids
plot point.
movie.
I mean, it's a huge... Whatever. It's a plot hole. So he gets the Easter egg and explains it to everyone while he's live streaming on Twitch. He gets the Easter egg that opens up the door, and he gets the final key. And but in the real world, we have Ghost from Ant-Man trying to run him off the road. So he's like drunkenly trying to put in the key because we need 30 seconds of
Because
tension.
suspense.
We need 30
or
seconds
whatever.
of tension. It was literally 30 seconds. But he gets in. He did it, guys. He's in the Easter egg room. Halliday's avatar gives him the contract that would sign over the Oasis to him. But Parsable realizes, oh, this pen, the contract, it looks just like when he forced Og to sign the contract over. And it was a test. It was a final test. It was a one good deed, whatever the Willy Wonka quote is. Halliday's avatar turns into the real Halliday, and the Easter egg room turns into his childhood home. And back in the real world, Sorento crashes into the van. The people of the stacks come out, but he pulls a gun on them, and literally no one's going to be a hero.
It's like almost a cool moment because they're like, "Hey, you better leave," and then
Yeah.
a gun, and then they're like,
It's like,
"Nope,
we know what you did to the stacks.
none of us actually is a
Hundreds of
hero."
people aren't going to
Hundreds.
try and stop you here.
One gun.
Remember in was it Spider-Man 2 where the people were gonna
Yeah.
stick up for him, and then he was the one that called them off. It wasn't even like
Yeah, but this
Wade was
is-
like, "No,
Nope.
don't die."
Oh, yeah.
They were
The-
just like, "Oh, actually, we have no allegiance by."
Yep. But Halliday talks about how he built the Oasis because he was afraid of the real world right up until the moment he knew he was going to die. And I guess dying,
Liberated
going
him.
through dying, gave him a change of heart. And he says probably the stupidest thing in defense of reality versus virtual reality. Guys, reality is real.
And it's the only place where you can
Or
get a decent
is
meal.
it?
Yep.
No, the
Simulation
decent
theory.
meal. Yeah.
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 But
The
that's
only
that's
place
fine.
you can get a decent
reality
meal.
is the only place you can get a decent meal. Reality is real.
It's fine. It's
Uh-huh.
simple. Keep going.
You're cool with. You good?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. Just double checking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nevertheless, he's given the egg. Yay! He literally
And it glows in
And it
real
glows.
life.
And it
that-
glows in real
that
life.
Gives Sorento a change
that gives
of
Sorento
heart.
a change of heart. Yeah.
My read was that there was nothing he could do at that point because he had gotten the egg.
It seemed like a change of heart to me, but I don't.
It's also a change of heart, but
Because he
but,
looks, he literally looks and smiles. He has like a
Yeah,
whole
it's
other
like
reaction.
a sense of wonder.
But my assumption is that came after realizing oh, I can't do anything. So
I guess, but yeah, he gives himself up.
Your adult brain is trying to make it make sense, and that's admirable, but misplaced.
Yep. So he has the egg. He has everything. Back in the Oasis, Halliday heads out. He's gonna head out. Parsable asks if Halliday's an avatar, and he says no. And then he asks, "Is Halliday dead?" He says yes. And then he asks, "What is he?" And Halliday just says goodbye and leaves. I think
he's in AI or
I think they just wanted a Harry Potter Dumbledore moment, like where he's like, "Is this the afterlife?" He's like, "No, it's in your head, maybe or whatever." Like
Yeah, I don't know. It's supposed to be more mystical than.
they were trying to be mysterious. Look, he's lying. It's like Willy Wonka. It's just sci-fi Willy Wonka. We're doing sci-fi Willy Wonka. Parsable finally logs off, and outside the van is Og, Simon Pegg. He's been there the
been
whole.
around the whole time.
Yep. He tells him to come out of the van, but before he does, Parsable closed the door, goes to Artemis and said he did what Halliday couldn't because we're getting mixed messages here. And he goes in for the kiss. Yep. Even though it was the rosebud was about Og, but he needed to do the kiss.
Yeah. This is
the
weird.
whole shining thing was a red herring for a thing that didn't matter because it was all about the girl, and then that was a red herring for friendship, and then he doesn't even understand that at the end.
And
he doesn't go to H and be like, "This is the parallel."
Nope. Nope.
No.
He needed to kiss the
Nope,
cute
it's
girl.
about the girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
The cute girl that because of a birthmark had
No,
no
I don't know.
confidence-
I agree with this. If it's about the friend,
Pick your
it
theme.
should be about the
It
friend.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter. We gotta wrap it up.
Yep.
Og comes back with the real contract, signing over everything to Parsable, and Parsable decides that him and his friends are going to run everything. So he kind of remembers after he kisses the girl. It's about friendship.
Because they made the High Five clan earlier.
Yeah.
In the movie, so he clanned up.
He clanned up.
Arc closed.
So the High Five clan. Og smiles, saying that that's a good choice. We cut to a makeshift ticker tape parade. Everyone's celebrating the High Five's victory. Parsable finally talks to Og alone, and he reveals that he was the museum's curator the whole time. In some whimsically Willy Wonka-esque twist. Turns out the Rosebud wasn't Kira. It was losing his only friend. Oh, emotions, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Friendship's the best, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's not
It's-
wrong, but
So let's wrap this. Let's wrap this
It's
up with
just,
another VO.
Roundabout.
The
way of
clan
getting
took
there.
over running the Oasis, and they bring Og on as a consultant for a salary of 25 cents at his request. And they basically forced IOI out of business by not allowing third-party
They
companies to.
can't log into the Oasis, so they have to shut down all their loyalty centers.
So yeah, force them out of business. And the best part, guys, they shut down Oasis on Tuesdays and Thursdays because reality
Because reality
is
real.
This movie's all over the place in what it's trying to say.
It was like in the last 5 minutes,
He
Spielberg's
says
like
reality
Yeah.
is important, and
Yeah.
this.
Is
and
that like not in the book?
I don't know. It really feels like it was just a forced moment where they're just like, you know what? This is a kids movie. We've been talking about video games this whole time. I don't want kids to take the message away that you should play video games, guys. We need it to be about going outside, and
No,
it's just forced. It's just sorry.
So
There's this really heavy-handedness over here, and this thing's being forced
I don't
in
want
here.
that shit, dude.
Yeah,
No,
but you're
careful.
strong.
You gotta force it. You gotta force
force
it.
it.
Ugh, force it.
No, I mean, I thought this movie was going to be more about that. Like, that was in my prediction, but then it's not
It
that.
was in the last 5 minutes
no,
of
and then,
the movie.
And then the movie happens, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's not, like, a theme at all. And then yes, it got forced at the end.
I really
was
think
like,
it's like some parents or Spielberg being like, I don't want my kids thinking that this is like someone.
okay, that
Someone,
you should be
some
in VR
executive
all the
was
time.
like, no, wait a minute. We're sending the wrong message to kids. And he's like, fuck. The guy that played Halliday is pretty cheap. We can just get him to record some quick lines about this. Ugh.
Yeah. And then they also like are really vague on what they say that Ogden's wife was the reason why he forced him out, but they don't really, they seem like best friends in every flashback.
Yeah.
And even when he's forcing him out of the company, which is like, how do you force him, or how do you force him to sign away his
I don't know. He's
That's what-
Zuckerberged him.
You
I
don't
don't
actually
know.
even talk about it, so it's so vague you don't even know why he has to leave, but at no point do you ever think that like they couldn't be friends or fix it. It was just all of it like fell flat for me.
Okay, I
yeah.
thought I missed something because I had no idea why he forced him out of the company.
They don't really say,
They
except for
didn't
later it's
cover
like,
it.
oh,
Okay.
it's because the girl that he tried to go on a date with once was his wife. It doesn't
I
matter.
guess that's, yeah.
It doesn't matter, guys.
Well, that is, there we go. Ready Player One. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I think we can wrap it up here. Any final thoughts? You good? Ready to go off into the Oasis?
all right, maybe I didn't love it,
Yeah! You just
Hey,
liked
there
it.
you go.
but I liked it.
Okay,
I thought
that's fine.
I thought it was fun.
That's what we expected. We thought this was a like movie at best.
My only real goal in life is to take dumb movies people love and just lower it down for them a little bit. Then I'm like I've won. You can't fix ignorance, but you can adjust it a little bit. Guys, thanks for coming.
Yeah,
thanks.
all right. Let's head out, guys. Thank you very much. If you're listening on the podcast, please like and subscribe to this podcast. What else?
Rate it.
Rate, review.
Rate, review,
Subscribe.
subscribe
Yeah,
to
that's
the
it.
podcast. It's How Did You Miss That? And for people watching on YouTube and in VR, thank you for watching. This is part of VR Week. We have a couple other programs, and if you go down, I think in the description we'll have a playlist because you can't click in VR yet. So there will be a playlist on the video, so you can check out some other stuff. We got some cool music stuff and action stuff that you can also check out in VR. So thank you for watching / listening, and we will see you next time on
How did you miss that?